When I look at this dog, I don't say we need more like this. I say, well, we need to change something in the breeding. You know, I always say, listen, if you want to be a positive only trainer, you need a dog like Dizzy. Has some drive, right? So you can use the food, you can use the toys, and the dog's very motivated to work for those things. Very handler sensitive. When I say handler sensitive, I mean she's very sensitive to my mood. She's very sensitive to if I'm happy, if I'm not happy. It's very easy to put pressure on her without ever laying a hand on her. If you wanted to train force-free, this is the kind of dog that you want to use. As certain training techniques and certain training tools get banned in Europe, you start to see more and more dogs like this. Dogs that have drive, but dogs that are also sensitive and pliable and easy to control. You don't need strong training for these dogs. I'll put it to you that way. Well, why shouldn't we have dogs like this? I'll tell you why. Because if I bred Dizzy to another dog like her, those puppies, I guarantee you, they'd be a complete wash. Now, if your goal is to just play dock diving and sport and whatever, no problem, keep doing that. But I think you're also gonna see a lot of nerve and stability issues start to crop up. You need those dogs in your breeding with that strong sense of independence. The only way you find those dogs is if you train a certain way and if you breed a certain way. I produced a dog like Dizzy, and I sold her to somebody, and she was really happy with the dog. She does all these sports, and you know, she does IGP, but then she also does like all these scent sports and agility and all this stuff. And she's like, oh, this is so great. Why don't you make more like this? And I say, no. When I mean, I'm glad you like the dog and I'm glad you love the dog, but for me, when I look at this dog, I don't say we need more like this. I say, well, we need to change something in the breeding so that we don't have a dog that's that pliable. For a dog to be able to be controlled, right, and to remain in control and to be safe and to be handleable without the use of any kind of corrections or without the use of any kind of strong training, as from a working dog, you're not getting enough dog. I guarantee you that. Right? And those dogs all carry a little bit of nerve, or sometimes even a lot of nerve. It's kind of like my wife's Chihuahua. Her reliance and dependence on my wife is what keeps her super close to her at all times. If I was to produce dogs like Dizzy, could I not train them and sell them and families would be very happy with them? Absolutely I could, but that wouldn't be the goal of my program. I'm a believer in, not exclusively, but using dogs with strong sense of independence, strong courage, character, and extremity and drive. So, I'm gonna put an e-collar on Dizzy. Why am I putting an e-collar on Dizzy and training her with an e-collar? Well, I believe that the e-collar, when used properly, can actually make a dog a little bit more resilient, a little stronger, and a little faster. And you can look at this dog, and if you don't know what you're looking at, you'd be like, oh my God, she's crazy, she's got so much drive. For me, this is mediocre drive. Up. Hey, good girl. I'm just gonna walk around, and we're gonna focus a little bit on positions, plucks, break, plucks, break, plucks. Good job. And just getting her comfortable. Out, plucks, break, plucks, break. And you can see with her, because she's so sensitive, after the second one, she was expecting. She's like, he's gonna make me do it again. And she was expecting. So I didn't. You know, when you see expectations, you break those expectations, right? Sit. Out. Good. Plots. Break. Break. You can see that little bit of hesitation now. She's like, oh, should I break? That's okay. That's confidence building now is what we're going to do. Out. Anything little, any variable in the pattern starts to make her doubt herself a little bit. Even without the e-collar, you'll see the same behavior. Out. If anything, the e-collar speeds her up, right? Down. So with Gage, you see, like, doesn't matter what happens, his primary focus is always drive satisfaction. With her, she has drive, but anything that changes, any variable that changes will kind of knock her a little bit off her game, and you'll start to see the hesitation there. I want you to start to think about that from a real working perspective. Yes, good job. Good. Woo, yes. Good girl. And you can see with her, unlike Gage, my other dog, she doesn't have a lot of problems, you know, like she automatically, she kind of leans back a little bit and really has a nice healing next to me. Now I'm gonna work on back lefts with her. Out. You can see too how she drops the ball compared to Gage, right? With Gage, it doesn't matter how many times I correct him, whatever, it's always a battle to get the ball off of him. It's always the worst thing that he could do is, oh, I hate giving this up. With her, she's like, okay, there you go, right? That's the difference. Good. we're gonna do a back left here with the electric. Good. Boost. And put a little pressure there on the back left, right? Good girl. It just reminds the dog, stay back. Don't start forging too much. Yeah. Now making a little more. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Good. Good girl. Good job. If you're a good trainer, you're gonna find out, where does she not believe in herself, right? Where does she struggle a little bit? And then you try and make her believe in herself there. Out. For dogs like this, they can't handle losing too many times. Out. They have to always be a winner, otherwise they start second guessing everything. It helps them, especially when you pair it with drive satisfaction and you layer everything in properly. Pressure makes them a little bit more resilient, right? Than maybe what's naturally there. Good girl.